I'm stuck in the house. Hey everybody, Vaughn here with the Vonster vlog, and welcome to another week on the homestead. I am just coming out here. It's a little late in the day to be just getting started, but it is what it is. I'm going to be letting my chickens out, and we've got all sorts of stuff to be doing in the yard this week. Morning, ladies. So what I've got going on here is we have been building up compost in this area in the chicken enclosure for at least a year, and so everything's very well decomposed, and I am just shoveling it up. This is my fourth grow bag, my fourth 10-gallon grow bag to be pulling out of the enclosure, and we still have so much soil or so much compost. Now it's going to have some sprouting sunflower seeds and some corn and, you know, different scratch ingredients in it, but that's fine. I'm only planting transplants into the grow bags, so it should be easy enough to, ooh, they found a grub. It should be easy enough to pull any weeds or pull out anything that I didn't want growing in there, because I don't think this grow bag would be suitable for growing sunflowers out of, but we'll see. Ooh, Bay's vent is looking so much better, y'all. Like, it's not perfect, but she's doing better. I'm really glad we were able to, Randy held her and I trimmed her butt. So that's good. So I'm just going to leave this bag in here until I get the cart pulled over, but I was going to try to spend this morning, what little might be left of it, watering, because it has been hot and windy, and I want to give my plants just the best start that I can. Look at all these chickens at the watering hole. So I know that it would be a better use of my time probably to put in some sort of irrigation system, but I really love playing with the garden hose in the garden. It is so hot. I'm grateful for that little bit of a breeze, but the sun is just, I mean, shining down with a vengeance. I'm really glad that the trees have started to flesh out the way that they have, because it gives us at least a little bit of shade. I just need to come out here sooner than 10 a.m. Something bit me just now. Ow. But taking this time, sometimes it can take up to an hour for me to thoroughly water everything. But it's a really great meditation. It gets me out here in the garden. Oftentimes I'll pull some weeds while I'm watering, and it helps me to pay special attention to every single plant, you know, because I'm watering everything that I had planted. Whereas if it were an irrigation hose, I'd just turn it on and then probably go back inside, set a timer kind of thing. So I really like being out here almost to enjoy the heat, because the breeze is sweeter when you're sweaty. Just doing the daily grind, and it's wonderful. I absolutely love getting to come out here and dig in the dirt and water the plants and see things grow day to day. So I keep these trash cans with the bottoms cut off, and I put them under where the rabbits like to poop and pee. And I'll often, if we have like any yard waste that has seeds and stuff on it, that's where I'll put it in so it can break down nice and thoroughly. I just wanted to get some footage of Poppy being glorious here. She's so dramatic. I love it. But yeah, the shade cloth really does a lot, I think, for cooling it off in this area. But we still have sunny spots, like this area. You can see where the sun cloth stops. And then we've got an additional shade here for the rabbits. So that whole strip, the chickens can lay in the sun if they want. Most of the time, though, you can see they dig little holes in the dusty soil where it's dry and cool. And they come out here and get some sun. So yeah, you can see I'm still casting a significant shadow. So this isn't like having a tarp over the whole enclosure. Water and air and sunlight still do come through. It's just a little shadier. So you can see the difference between shaded, not shaded, shaded, not shaded. So I'm spying on a wild bunny who must have the most delicious of feet. He's just itching his ear. This is in the neighbor's backyard, but I'll spy on them anyhow. Hey guys, I'm just sitting here on my front porch and I wanted to show y'all what I've been up to today. Let me get this flipped around. So I have planted just a mess of stuff today. Let me fiddle about with the tripod. So we stopped by the feed store and I was able to get some California Wonder, Big Bertha, and some other variety of pepper and then we got some tomatoes, but I haven't gotten those planted yet today. And a little bit more marigolds. So, oh, and we made that tutorial over on our craft channel, Back to Earth Creations, that I'm really excited just to see if it works, because the sun's too low in the sky for me to get it to work. So, and I didn't want to carry it around to the backyard and hold it in a funny position just to see. I figured we will wait and see in the morning. I'm going to get up real early. That way I can supervise to make sure that it works properly and it's not just going to shoot all the water out of the top of the pump and then burn itself out. But yeah, so here we have 2 peppers and a petunia that is just gorgeous. And then these are Red Beauty. That's the 3rd variety. So those 2 and these 2 are Red Beauty. That's our little mermaid hummingbird fountain that hopefully will work. And then this one, you can actually see whenever I watered, which by the way, our nasturtiums are not blooming, but growing. They germinated, but it drips. And so that's why I was going to do the fountain right in the middle, but I was like, I don't want a bunch of compost water going down. I want to keep that water as clean as possible. So we'll see how that goes. I may actually end up moving that onto this. Yeah, that's a bed frame. Don't judge me. Just to pull it out of the sun because the algae shouldn't be so bad, but we'll see how that goes. But so instead, I have the compost tea basically dripping down here onto 2 peppers, which are California Wonder. We really like sweet peppers. We're not so into spicy food. Like Doritos are kind of spicy for me. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get to where I can eat spicy food better because it is fun, but man, it's it's spicy. And then, yeah, so we have the 2 California Wonder, these 2, and then these 2, and then this is Lobelia, I do believe. And then here we have 3 of the Big Berthas. I'm just ran out of space. I didn't have enough room in this one, so I had to do 3 peppers in here with 2 marigolds. So this one's going to be maybe a little cramped, maybe not. We'll see. It's some super nutrient-rich soil, so hopefully it'll be able to support it. And then we've just got 1 pepper over here with some more petunias and a calendula, which we do have a calendula right there as well, and right there as well with a latanya. So this is what I've been up to today, and the goal is, in my heart, is to have the whole rest of the porch lined with grow bags. And this is where I'm going to do most of my, this is where I think I'm going to do all of my squash. Will be over in this corner, so along there, and there. Just to, maybe it'll be easier to deter squash vine borers if I have them elevated, and kind of easier, at eye level. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you all posted for sure. This morning I am finishing up. I planted some fresh marigolds in with the sweet potatoes, for some of them just didn't make it. And I also got down here, I planted 8 tomato plants. We have Celebrity tomato. I didn't start my own heirloom seedlings this year. I just went and got them from the feed store, and that's all right by me. I don't plan on saving any sort of seed, and gosh, it's just they're so inexpensive at the feed store that saves me seedling space for other things. Though maybe we'll grow our own next year. But we have 4 of the Celebrity, which is a determinate variety, so if I do any canning, that's what I'll be using. And that's those 4. And then I have Carolina Gold, which is an indeterminate variety, and all of these are just interplanted with marigolds just because I think they're gorgeous. So I need to get all these watered in, but indeterminate means the vine will just keep growing and growing and growing, right up until the frost kills it, and it will produce a slower but steady crop of tomatoes, whereas the determinate will kind of get as big as it's going to get, set the flowers it's going to set, and then sets fruit, and then it's on all at once kind of harvest. So perfect for preserving. That way, you Used to, I'd grow nothing but indeterminate. And by the end of the season, I'll have gotten a whole bunch of tomatoes. But, it was over like a 5 or 6 month period when I lived in Tennessee. So I'm experimenting a bit more with the determinate varieties. Whew. It is hot today. And the day has barely begun. But I'm really pleased to have finally gotten this planted. I need to weed out the rest of the greenhouse, I guess. I mean, one day I'd like to cover it in greenhouse fabric, or that greenhouse plastic, but we'll see. So there's a thirsty bird drinking from the hummingbird feeder. Oh, there's another one. I wonder if they'll be back. So I've set up this fountain that you can see from here, and I am waiting in rapt anticipation for a hummingbird to notice that I made this fountain. I'm dying, guys. The anticipation is getting me. And see, I've moved some of my houseplants outside too, so now I get to peek through the bushes and spy on some birds. But as soon as I catch one playing in the fountain, I'll let you guys know. Oof, day 1 of having a fountain for the hummingbirds. I hope they like it. So I set up one of these solar pumps that it's like $15 on Amazon, and I've set it up here in the bird bath. And I feel like the bird bath evaporates quite a bit through the day, so I like putting a deeper bowl inside the bird bath. And we'll see, hopefully you get to see if the birds like it. But you can see I just have the solar panel right there. It catches sun for most of the day. Like, I'm always experimenting with finding the best spots, but really I can come around and you can see it comes with quite a bit of cord. But yeah, like, this is it full sun, and then I'm gonna block it, and you can see it's only like my hat blocking out. And then, but it is what it is. I don't know. I try to not have too high of an expectation when it comes to the cheapest pump on Amazon. So these are the different head attachments that came with the pump. Now, this one right here is a little bit of a bell shape that the other caps attach to. So I am going to try out the different heads and show you how they look. So the first head that we're going to be using is this one here. And this one just shoots water out onto the ground. It's pretty powerful though. This is how the pump looks when there's no head on it. And so next up, let's do this head with the 5 sprinklers. Oh goodness, that's more of the same, right out under the ground. So those 2 smaller heads I think would be perfect for using in the big pond over yonder. The strawberry bed's kind of blocking it, but let's put this back on. And you can see it kind of changes the way the burbling comes out just a little bit. And I'm pretty suspicious that with all of these guys, we're going to get some like intense, high up, very cool spraying that's just going to be shooting water everywhere. So I'm going to set the phone down, get that on. I actually think I'm going to test this out. Yeah, I've got one more of these pumps because I gotten 3. And so I'm going to leave this one as it is, just doing its thing, and let's go set up another one in the other bed. I've actually remembered I'm not going to be doing that because I don't have any more pump box like filters, pump filter boxes, and these clog super easy. So this is the 10-hole fountain. Whoop. And yeah, you can see it just, I mean, it's cute and everything, but man, it just right out of the bed. This is the head that looks like that. Trying to get the fountain. Oh, there it goes. Maybe? Whoop. Oh, it's pretty too. Again, straight out of the pond. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just leave it with the without one of these cute little caps on. Hey guys, okay, so this is the first of channelceptions that has the spree in it. So we didn't actually lose our spree last week. I just lost the footage in my phone. So thank you guys for being here, and I'm gonna be back to hanging out with y'all. So, ow. This is the second Vonception premiere,
we've been working on making these floral arrangements for our friend and employees.
Yep. I forget what I was gonna say. We have our first water lilies of the season over here in the mermaid pond. And that is always lovely. Hey guys, so I am doing just a little bit of meal prep, measuring out, it wants for grams. So I have these small mason jars that I usually use for like butter, and I am just measuring out, what is this, 114 grams or a half cup of cottage cheese. And this may seem, oh, that's way too much. 114, you say? To shreds, you say? Alright, well that's kind of close, but just making little snacks for myself because we have an insanely busy weekend. I mean, it's been busy, but it's getting even busier. So I'm just taking this bulk container of cottage cheese and putting it, sorry for the flickering lights, I've got everything in the house going at once apparently. When I get into like a fit of hunger, which is the best way that I can think to put it, it's really nice to have something immediate that I can just grab out of the fridge, throw either some, like I keep some mixed nuts in the fridge, throw some of that on there for some crunch, or some fruit with it, or some sprouts, like just having something that I can just grab. And I'm gonna get the lids. It is so loud in the house today. Ooh, and everything's just kind of a disaster, but that's okay. But yeah, so I just use these plastic wide mouth can lids, and I treat these like reusable Tupperware. But now I've got little 100-calorie packs with cottage cheese on the bottom, of cottage cheese. Tide me over when the hanger takes hold. Hey guys, so I am getting ready for helping our friends with their graduation party this weekend, and we're providing about 3 dozen deviled eggs. So it's starting with 3 dozen eggs. So I've got most of them boiled already. Oops, that one's got a split in it. That'll be all right. And I just wanted to show you guys how I go about boiling and peeling the eggs. Now, normally I'll just use whatever size pot is accommodating of, you know, the quantity of eggs that I'm cooking. So I'm using my big old stock pot today, and that fit about almost 30 eggs in it. I bring it to a rolling boil, salted water, like rolling boil. Room temperature eggs, plop them in, set a timer for 14 minutes, boil, 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 and then I run cool water over them, and I just pinch with my fingers. Sometimes I get lucky and they come off nice like that. And this is one of Poppy's eggs, just wee bitty. Like, for scale, this is one of Chia's eggs, and this is one of Poppy's. So, but I like to just really tap the whole egg on the counter. Because if you think of it like one big tectonic plate, I want to get it to where I can pinch and get a little bit of a lift between the membrane that separates the egg white from the shell. And then if you just pinch, and it just comes right off like that. And you can see here I've got a big old pile of egg shells. And then I rinse the egg off. And I filled up one whole bin, and then I've got my next one going. They're going to be bringing the trays for me to set the eggs up in later this afternoon. But yeah, I got a whole lot of egg peeling ahead of me, and I save all the shells for giving to my chickens because they absolutely love it. And I've never had any problems with my chickens cannibalizing their own eggs, even though I do feed them a whole bunch of eggs. Like, they never do it on their own. 14 minutes is up. Ooh, we had some crack. That's all right. Now I am rinsing them. Any that burst won't be good for deviled eggs, but I'll still eat them. So this is the progress so far. I feel like I'm maybe a third of the way done with making balloons. We'll see how it goes. My hands hurt, like super bad. So these are the balloons, Hazy Dog, from, like, they're filling the stairwell. So far I've only accidentally popped one. So that's from above. And here we are from below. He's like, are you kidding me? I just went upstairs. And I'm still going to make a balloon arch, I think. Because these are all just segments. I think I'm going to put together a whole arch. We'll see. Hey guys. So I am going to take a break from working on balloons. My finger stopped bleeding from the blister. Like, it's a little, like, fishing line cut that I had gotten from the... But I'm taking a break. I've done so many balloons that I'm grouchy. I still need to get the kiln loaded and shoot another tutorial. Just trying to get ahead for next week. Need to produce the shop update. Like, I passed it already, but I'm on my second batch of balloons because our resin finally came in. I have some water boiling so I can wash the dang dishes. And I'm a little frazzled, but that's okay. Sometimes the best kind of break is just doing something different. So I'm gonna come out and pay some special attention to my plants and my critters and see what's up with the day. So, ignoring the fact that I need to weed out the weeds that are growing through the rose bush. The rose bushes themselves actually look pretty nice. So we've got our pink one here, and then we've got the red one around in the front. And I'll actually take you guys around when I make it around to the front to show you the climbing roses have started. Some of the buds opened up through the night, and so fresh, beautiful rose blooms. It's beautiful, and it smells nice too. Dude, y'all, check this out. We have cucumber seedlings peeking up through the soil here. Check that out. That's another one right there. And then over here, I was so afraid that the heat, yeah, oh my gosh. So these ones are doing good. These are the newest seed. These 2 beds were planted with older seed, and these 2 beds, like, well, grow bags, it's a little bed, were planted with seed that's like 3 or 4 years old. So definitely a better germination rate, though I was so worried that the soil would just be too dry and too hot to get good germination, but here we are. That's fantastic. So I know that I really enjoy, and I know that I've said before that I really enjoy taking the time necessary to water, I'm getting out of the sun, to water all of the garden plants. But an irrigation system would be really nice just for when stuff does get busy, and it does get busy. So I'm gonna keep just watering everything in, because we've got to get some mulch out here, you guys. Like, let's go sit in the shade and talk. So one of the biggest principles behind homesteading is just being able to be as self-sufficient through the waves of life, the roller coaster of life, whatever life deals to us. I want to be able to maintain as steady of a constant baseline of functioning as possible. And so what that means for Randy and I with our business and with our little urban homestead that we have here is that the more ways that I can be self-reliant, self-sufficient, however you want to look at it, with like from within our home, the better. So it's like, I'm even a little bit odd to the point that it's like, well, I don't mind lending things out to friends. Like, I don't want to have to borrow something from a friend, because you know, it's like, what if it's not good weather? What if our schedules aren't lining up, and every time I need to borrow it, they need to use it, and it's their tool anyways. So now, and that's something I've been working on, is working on asking for help or asking for assistance or to borrow something. But for the most part, Randy and I are both this way, that we would rather invest in the tool ourselves, or at least rent it from like a business, than to have to rely on a friend or something. You know, it's better, like, we prefer to just purchase it as opposed to renting, because even then, like, you know, here recently we had such heavy rains that so many places in our town, like so many houses, the plumbers are booked up for like the soonest we could get somebody to come out and look at our water heater is 4 weeks. It's been about a week, maybe a week and a half. I am tired of having to boil water for, like, I mean, it's just another step. And you know, those conveniences are nice, and it's like, I don't know how to learn how to fix gas water heaters. And so that's kind of got me irked with myself a little bit. It's like, dang it, Vaughn, how come you don't know how to do everything? And I know that it's silly whenever I say it out loud, but in my heart, I really do want to be able to be as absolutely self-reliant as possible. And having our own chickens. You know, we may not be able to raise enough chickens to have all of our chicken meat be raised on our own 1/4 of an acre. But we haven't had to buy eggs in years, and we can give eggs away to our friends and friends of friends every once in a while when we have some extra. But we don't have the resources on our 1/4 of an acre to be able to raise enough chickens to make a business venture out of selling eggs. And I'm finding that the more land and time resources you have, that's wealth. Like, in my heart, that's wealth. Like, that's what I want, is to be able to have the land and the time to be able to potentially even employ other folks. But I'm thinking back to whenever we were in our apartment, like our very first apartment, and it's like sorry, I'm watching the birds while I chat. We had to be very service focused in what we could produce with our limited resources. So, and at the time, limited skill sets. We have certainly improved our skill sets over the past 17 years of being together. But, so that's something that, and what got me thinking about this as I was watering plants is I was like, you know, if I could give advice to past me whenever I was in my apartment and the seed of a self-sufficient life was sprouting, but I was like, how do I even, like, I can't have a market garden on my balcony. Like, that's just not plausible. But it's, if you can learn skills, if you can have a service that you can provide to others so what you're producing is revenue based off of your skill, or barter, or however you want to, you know. Unfortunately, the electric company and the bank don't barter, like they don't take tomatoes and eggs as payment, so I have to generate revenue. And so just having things be service based whenever we were just in our apartment served us really well. And even here on a quarter of an acre, we still, if we didn't have our jewelry business and our YouTube tutorials and stuff, there's no way that we could be self-sufficient, even with having the house paid off, and even with, like, we have worked so hard to eliminate all of our debt and, you know, trying to build up our reserves for, you know, like emergency funds and stuff. But gosh, it seems like as soon as you get a penny in there, everything in the house starts breaking. Like in a 6-month window, there were new tires on the car that still needs done. Randy and I both need new glasses. Our computer has broken, which we need for work. For the farmer, if their tractor breaks, you got to get it fixed. Whenever you function online, in the computer that you use for video editing and premiering and everything like that is like blue screening twice a day. Whenever I'm trying to do what I need to do, like, that's a problem. And I don't know if I said it right, but the furnace, and now the water heater, and just today, the freezer. We have a freezer door at like the bottom of our fridge. The seal will not stay shut, so we have like a 40-pound bag of cat litter propped against it to keep that shut. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I haven't Googled it yet. So, but it just feels like, of course, one more thing, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So all of these other things are heavy on my mind, and then whenever I'm back here in the garden watering, being like, man, I really need some mulch. Getting it, because like we've signed up for chip drop and stuff, but I have never, in the 9 years of us living here, in the 9 years of signing up for chip drop, never have I ever gotten chips dropped off. So we've always had to purchase mulch, and that gets pretty expensive, but mulch is really nice. Like, it makes a huge difference, and it is a crucial investment to keep all of the rest of the time and energy and financial investment that we've made in our garden. Mulch is the investment that keeps that initial investment growing and thriving, and keeps us from having to dump even more time and effort and energy into it to get the produce that we enjoy so much, which this year I am going to be weighing and tracking all of the produce that we have pulled in. And I will be keeping you guys up to date with that. I'm gonna have to change that bird bath mountain, I think, that I had made. The birds just don't like perching on the ball because it moves when they land on it. So I think I have some like nice rocks that I'm gonna put in there, and I think that that'll just be much better. But yeah, so I'm like, how do I justify? It's like $40 to $45 per scoop of mulch, and I think we need like 5 scoops, and then it's like a $75 or $80 delivery fee, and that's just a lot of money. But
It's not like I've got trees on my property that have fallen branches that I can wood chip up myself. Like even, that little pile of stuff that we're going to be burning isn't good for mulching. And it's cheaper to buy a bag of equivalent mulch than it is to rent a mulcher for how little bit of mulch those twigs and branches. Can you see it? Yeah, back there. Let's just go look at it. But the amount of mulch that these, sticks would does not offset the expense of renting a wood chipper. And especially since so much of it is like raspberry and, just like this isn't. I may be wrong though. Let me know in the comments or in the Premier chat. Hey, people in the Premier chat, what your thoughts are on that. But so it's just kind of weighing the balances. But I do love being out here and getting to enjoy being in nature. And so I guess I'll go get some mulch. I'll cough up the money. We'll see how this next shop update goes. I still need to get this bed planted and the far bed over there. Always so much to do. That's all right though. Let's keep at it. So until we get more mulch, I'm trying to keep this exposed soil from becoming hydrophobic. And so whenever I water, I'm coming in and pressing the nozzle and then shooting into the soil, so that hopefully it will start to permeate. And I think I'm going to come through and use a stick or something and make a bunch of small holes so that the moisture will come down in. But my worry about that is that while it does increase the surface area for absorbing water, it also increases the surface area for losing water to evaporation. So really there's no way around it. I just need mulch. But I did want to show you guys, look at all these potential grape clusters. So these, I guess, are the little grape flowers that are coming up on our main vine. No aphids yet. Typically we'll get aphids really, really bad on the tips, and I just let it be. But I don't know, we'll see. I might be a whole lot more committed to keeping up on it if we actually get a grape harvest this year, because last year we had two clusters of grapes on the whole vine. But this is third year of having this vine in the ground. And let's go check on, ooh, this one right here. I'm gonna need to start training. He was just one little leaf coming out of a dead stick when he was over here before we transplanted him. The weeds have, I've taken a week and the weeds have completely gotten away. Look at those Jerusalem artichokes. That's the mother plant. Those are the ones that are transplanted for harvesting. I hope we like eating Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes, because we're gonna have a mess of them. So the big downside to using soil from the chicken enclosure is we have an overabundance of sunflower seedlings that have germinated. I threw some out for the wild birds, but I'm gonna just make a little pile right here of sprouts to give back to the chickens, since I didn't eat the sunflower seeds the first time through. Maybe they'll eat them this time. And this is why I'm really glad that I planted transplants, because I know that there's calendula. This doesn't go there, so I can pull that. Pepper, latania, calendula. So the hummingbird just loved this one, but then all the blooms fell off. So working on it, but that is so much. And I could, I guess, just leave it on the surface as a little bit of a living mulch. Or not living mulch, but just cut and lay. This is so much though. But just gotta do a little bit at a time, and before you know it, you're done. So every day, do just a little at a time until you're done. So this is our first strawberry harvest. Hopefully more to come. Can you press the stop button thing? So it looks like the fish like to eat whatever is growing on the filter box, like on the screen part. Can you hold that, baby? Thank you. I'm gonna see if I can't get in here and settle in and just watch for a minute. Because you can see there's still just a little bit of movement happening. So for some reason, the filter box was floating when I came out earlier today, so I ended up putting some of these rocks on it. I think me sitting here is scaring the fish off, but you just got to see, oop, there she is. And that's just real interesting to me. Because really, I guess I don't know what goldfish eat, other than like flakes. They're eating that, and I'm game. He just dug a hole and laid in it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He likes watching the chickens too.
Maybe I'll grow.
We're gonna grow a sand plant. Hey guys, so wrapping up this week's vlog, I am repotting some of my seedlings to let them develop a little bit more root structure before putting them into the ground, since it's gotten hot and kind of dry. And even if it's not, like, the wind takes, it's been so windy, the wind is just stripping the moisture out of my beds because I don't have any mulch. Sorry for the traffic noises. So I just wanted to give the seedlings a little bit more of a chance, and I think giving them a bigger root ball will, and also waiting to plant them until I can get my hands on some mulch, quite a bit of mulch actually. I don't know, I think that will be a good thing to do. So just wanted to share what I'm doing with you guys. These are leftover hanging pots from the ferns that I decided I'm never going to buy again. They're like those Boston ferns that they never really last. Like, I can't overwinter them well, and it's like I buy them and they're already root bound, but I'm gonna make the most of it. And I've got these hanging pots, and I'm going to be using this moisture control potting mix. So hopefully that'll be a good thing. And I'm going to start off by just filling the pot about half away. And ooh, I love this stuff. I've been using this moisture control stuff on my house plants for a while, because in the winter the dry air of the house really dries out the house plants. And it's just, I like the blend on this. It's a little bit more expensive than what I like to pay for dirt, but for plants that are going to be living in a pot, good soil is the start of everything. I mean, really, even out in the garden, good soil is everything. And I think that's why I'm kind of, I've got to get the mulch on, because, you know, if I'm not mulching it, I'm suffering wind and rain erosion. It's getting sun-baked and becoming hydrophobic. So I really, really need to keep my soil in good health, because that's going to do more for the plants than anything that I as a human can do. So the best way I can be a steward to my little green babies is to give them good soil. Just getting that. Fortunately, this plant is not very root bound, so that means she should have lots of room to grow. And I'm just building up and kind of tapping down and in. And then we're going to turn this, and we're going to start filling it in from the other side. That's filling in real nice. We'll water this down and in, and then I can top dress it for whatever it might need. But now on to repotting my seedlings. I think I'm actually just gonna hang these pots under those pots and make like 2-tier pots for just all around the garden. Because you can see I've just got it hooked through one of the wires and the chains are holding up just fine. So that way I can water the top one and it'll drip down into the next one. So the hanging gardens. So I want to test my theory, and that is that I'm going to water this plant, and I'm hoping that this planter catches the overflow. And I'm going to water it in just a little bit more, just because it's just been planted. And we need to settle that soil in. Oh, maybe these plants are thirstier than I thought. That was a whole like half a watering can. There it goes. Starting to do a dribble. Yep. And so that way hopefully we can take advantage of, because these hanging planters are planted with like peat humus and manure compost. So I'm hoping that it'll be simultaneously watering and fertilizing like a compost tea, just percolating on through. And then I don't know, it looks kind of silly, I guess, doesn't it? Having the plant hanging underneath. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, I really wanted to see the fuchsia with the hummingbirds on it right here. Gardens are constantly evolving. It'll be what it'll be. So here I'm transplanting some of our gomphrena into, because some of them are still quite small. And so I just wanted to give them a little bit more opportunity to grow their roots out. And that way the transplant shock hopefully won't be so bad for them once I do get them put into the beds. And again, like I'd mentioned, I'm really wanting to wait to put these in until I can mulch, because everything's just getting away from me right now, and I think mulch is going to help a whole lot for me to weed and then be able to put the mulch down. And currently the weeds, I'm leaving them because they're at least keeping some of the moisture in the soil. They're providing at least that little bit of protection from the wind and water erosion. It's just kind of tricky sometimes getting these seedlings out of the trays, but we'll get it figured out.
Bye, Doug. We'll see you next week. You too. Hey guys, so this was this week on the homestead. It's been a little hectic, but now that the graduation party is over, which was beautiful by the way, I don't actually know if I got any usable footage, but I will at least have had a little slideshow of the pictures of before the party, because once the party got into full swing, there was just so much going on, just trying to keep like the dirty dishes gathered and the food restocked and all sorts of stuff. So, hey bird. But yeah, just it's good to have a party where you're too busy having fun to get footage, so that's good. In the coming week, I'm hoping we'll get hot water. I really miss the convenience of hot water, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. For like over 2 weeks now, we have not had hot water. And while we have acclimated well, and I keep saying that, but it is what it is. Like when I was a kid, it was like a quarter of a mile from our cabin to the bathhouse where there was running water, like running hot water. And so if I wanted to take a shower, if I needed to do dishes, if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I had to hoof it over to the bathhouse. And so I have actually fond memories as a kid of carrying these like wash pan basins on my head full of dirty dishes, like to the bathhouse, washing them in the utility sink, and then carrying the clean dishes back in the same pan back to our cabin. So it's like, if I could do that then, I can definitely do this now, no problem. Like past me would be like, girl, you got this. And past me would be like, girl, get your water heater fixed. I'd be like, I'm trying. But I want to thank our channel members. There should be your names scrolling over here on the side. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world to me. I'm so glad that y'all take time out of your day to come here and hang out with us. Here on our little homestead, I got a whole bed weeded today, and that took me about an hour. I thought it'd get done in about 20 minutes. I was very wrong, but that's fine. I decided to go ahead and weed because I have no idea when we'll be able to get the mulch in. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, next week, basically the only thing on the agenda for next week is getting 2 more beds planted, keeping everything watered, finishing up repotting my seedlings and keeping those watered, and oh, we're going camping, so stay tuned for some camping footage, hopefully. So thank you guys again so much for being here and for all of your support and for just being awesome. So until next time, you guys, keep on keeping on. Mwah. Bye.